Good morning, guys. This is Ellie with Journeys with Ellie. So, I am really struggling to find an area in the house that is ideal for this with lighting and all of that. Um, but I am being asked to get on today. What I want to talk about is I want to ask myself the same questions that I want to ask the people that I'm interviewing. And thank you for joining. So let's talk about healing. What does healing look like and what does it not look like? So for me, what healing has looked like is meditation, journaling, really just doing the inner work. For me, that is the absolute most important way for me to move through any situation. Obviously, there have been times in my life where I've been younger and I haven't had the tools to do that. But as I get older and as I find these tools, then I try to keep them in my toolbox. Again, meditation and journaling has been really important. Finding people that think like me, that want to be doing the work, drum circles, women's events, things like that have all been really helpful, as well as books. Books are just an abundance of information that we have so easily available to us, whether it's an actual book or listening or otherwise. So again, for me, healing has looked like all of those things. What healing does not look like for me is not doing the work and sweeping everything under the rug. That has never worked. I do believe that our emotions and our memories get stored in our system, in our bodies, in our cells, in our subconscious, 100%. And I feel that at some point everything will come up to the surface to be dealt with, and it will continue to come up to the surface to be dealt with. Otherwise, we will continue experiencing the same thing over and over again. The same relationships, the same friendships, the same jobs, the same things until those lessons are learned. And we don't really want that. Obviously, we're all human. Things like that are going to happen. There may be times that we don't even know that there's a lesson in it, or that there's work to be done. For me, the times where the work has needed to be done has been in relationships and jobs. Relationships have been huge for me. I have not always been in the best relationships. I always learn a lot from them. What I find that I'm attracted to is men who have characteristics and strengths that I don't have, as in like business and just mindsets. And I find that attractive. And so I gain what I can from those relationships, and then I get out when those lessons are learned, pack everything up with me and head on out of the relationship. What do I think of when I think of healing? For me, doing the inner work looks like going to the hard places. Really, really facing the hard truths. What is working, what is not working. Healing means breaking a cycle, changing a pattern. I believe in doing ancestral work. So in my meditations a lot, I will call on my ancestors to assist me in their lessons, whether it's something I'm breaking generationally or just for myself. And a lot of the times that I have walked away from situations, most recently my previous relationship, I walked away from that relationship because it was really important to me to do the work and change those cycles of abuse and me being unhealthy, being in an unhealthy lifestyle, unhealthy patterns. And it was really important to me to break those for my family, especially the women in my family, my daughter and my grandchildren. I do not want them to experience what I went through on that level. And if there is something in that I can break and restructure and change the patterns, then my hope is that their lows aren't as low, or that they are not choosing into the unhealthy relationships into the unhealthy patterns and relationships that I have chosen into. And that is what healing means for me, is to break the cycles and the patterns that have kept me stuck in certain situations. What are some of the healing modalities that I use? For me, again, meditation, books, reading, learning, energy work. I have sought out other energy workers. And just, for me, the healing modalities that I have used have been meditation, books, energy work, drumming, really getting into learning. I love spirituality. The moment it became a part of my life, like genuinely became a part of my life, I have really stuck with that and sought out modalities, all different kinds of modalities. I love, there's always something on the internet, classes, places that you can go. Some of the things that I've tried are Diksha, drumming, women's retreats, what is the name for those? There's companies out there that have programs that you can go through to teach you about the masks that we wear, I am so sorry, just kind of how we function as a human, and really being able to see that and being shown that from an outside perspective. I think that is really important. I think that there is only so much work that we can do on our own at any given time. There's only so much that we can see, and I do believe in working with others and really having others assist us with our own healing and things that we cannot see or that we're just too close to. Whatever that looks like for you. Let's see. When is the first time that I knew that I had gifts? I have known my whole life I think that when we are young, we don't know that those are gifts. We have no idea. We assume that that is how everybody processes their information and has the same feelings. And we don't think about that. We don't have the tools. Nobody really talks to us about that when we're young. I specifically remember a time where I was hanging out with one of my cousins. We were at her apartments. We were sitting outside on the stairs, and I was facing towards the outside of the building. And I told my cousin, someone is going to be walking around the corner with something in their hands for you. She was like, okay, whatever. And within a few minutes, one of her friends, a neighbor friend, came around the building with an invitation to her birthday party or quinceañera or something like that. Probably not a quinceañera. I think we were younger. But a birthday party. And my cousin freaked out. She was like, oh my gosh, how did you know that? You're scaring me, blah, blah, blah. So that was a big time for me to be like, oh, I scare people. Another time was just growing up. I remember being in elementary school and my friends would be talking to me and all of a sudden they would lose their train of thought and I could hear what they were going to say. So kind of those psychic abilities. And then it was like, oh, and then I would kind of hand it back to them. So there were so many times in my life where I had little nudges. And I just didn't know. I didn't know. I thought that everybody had that. When it really started becoming apparent to me was as I started my spiritual practice again and started meditation and really started getting into relationships. There would be so many times where I had to learn to trust the information that I was getting, whether it was for myself or to deliver the information. And you just have to be brave enough to start trusting and start delivering and using the information that you're getting is such a key factor. It's gonna feel scary. It's gonna feel uncomfortable. And in the beginning, we're not gonna know how to use it. It is okay. But I don't know that we're meant to know right off the bat how to trust the information, how to receive it, and how to deliver it. So I'm gonna go with that for you. Really just trust yourself. I really encourage that the most. When you're getting those nudges, when you're getting the information that says, hey, those gut feelings, those intuitions where you're like, I might not be okay, or I need to put my seatbelt on, or don't cross the street right now, or maybe sometimes it's just those few minutes where you know that you need to leave for work and you can't find something. A lot of times I believe that that is spirit just keeping us behind for just a couple of minutes, and then you get on the road, you're driving, and then there's an accident. A lot of times those could have been us in that accident, and sometimes it's just listening to spirit for that extra 30 seconds. There was a time where I shut my own gifts down once again, as I was younger, and I realized that me delivering information was scary to other people, that it was going to freak people out, that people didn't know how to receive the information that I was delivering. I did shut my gifts down, and I really didn't use them again until I was a little bit older. I would say about 19 is when I really started honing in and practicing. What made me start using them again? I think that the time that I really started using them again is I was in a relationship with my daughter's dad. When we first met, he said, "I have a gift for you." And he assisted me in opening up to my spiritual gifts. That was the gift. In that time, that was a really hard relationship. We didn't have a lot of money. I was 22 and I already had a 4-year-old. I was pregnant. We had moved to Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, and we ended up in a situation where he was not healthy. He would leave the house for work days at a time, and I would be at home with a 1-year-old, and I did not have a fridge. I did not have a car. I did not have friends. I did not have a phone. There were times that she did not have milk or diapers, and that was really hard. In my time with him, I was reading a lot of books, especially when I was pregnant. I started putting everything into practice. In one of my other videos, I talk about how I was reading the book Remembering Wholeness with Carol Tuttle, and there was a whole bunch of affirmations, and it was my first encounter with affirmations, and I wrote them on construction paper and I taped them all over my house. I recorded myself saying every single affirmation. I recorded myself reading meditations out of other books and doing them, because I can't read and meditate at the same time. And so I recorded myself using my own voice, using my own, I think that our body and our spirit receives that better. And I really started putting everything into practice because I had nothing else to lose and I had nothing else to do. I was pregnant and at home. So I had all the time in the world and nothing to lose. And that's where I really started to notice that these things worked for me. After I got out of that relationship, during the time that I was in that relationship, I just wanted normal things. I wanted friends. I wanted a fridge. I wanted a car. I wanted a phone. And it was not, these are normal times. This isn't like 60 years ago, where maybe not everyone had that. I don't know. I'm sure, maybe I shouldn't have said that. I just wanted a normal life again. And when I got out of that relationship, I started a job. I had friends. I was in a home that had a fridge, and I had a car, and I had a phone, and I had all of the things that were important to me, especially being a single mom of 2. And I took the next 3 years to just be single and kind of take in the things that I really wanted to have and manifest them and get really clear about what those were. What do I want my audience to know? Well, I want you to know, that's going to make me a little bit emotional. I want you to know that you are so extremely powerful. That I really want to speak to the women right now because that's where I'm being pulled to. I want to let you know that you are an absolute goddess. And you have so much strength and so much power. And I think that over time, society has wanted to take that out of us, to make us feel small, to make us feel like we don't matter the same way that a man does, that our value isn't the same. I want to let you know that we truly hold the keys to this universe. We are the creators. Without us, this world would not run. And I want us to take our power back. I want you to be the goddess that is your birthright. And I want to let you know that I love you, and I am so grateful that you are on this journey with me, because I am so excited to meet you on your journey wherever you're at. I hope you have a great day, and I love you.